So the first line of defense is social distancing, clearly. However, putting that aside, we do know that having some sort of covering over one space, the thicker and the tighter the better, will eliminate various percentages of those aerosols and droplets.
Aerosols are finer airborne particles. They stay in the air longer. It can travel actually longer than 6 feet. Droplets, they drop fast. They don't stay in the air long, and because they're heavy. Anytime you cough or sneeze, you expect a lot of droplet particles that you expel. How much viruses or viral particles are present in those, aerosol or droplet particles? There's going to be a lot.
When people breathe or talk or sing or just exhale, they breathe out much, much smaller aerosols that might be 10 times to 200 times smaller than a grain of sand.
Gil says the likelihood of you contracting COVID-19 is a function of 5 different things. 1, how close you are to an infected person putting out droplets and or aerosols. 2, how long are you exposed to them. 3, whether you are covering your mouth and nose. 4, get this, even how loud that infected person is talking, sneezing, or coughing, which causes droplets and aerosols to be expelled with greater force. And 5, is there ventilation? The more ventilation, the better the aerosols and droplets will break up. Think about a grocery store aisle.
They have those big, long aisles, and those aisles are kind of like canyons. And I don't know if you've noticed, on a calm winter night in El Paso, the pollution and the fog tends to settle down in our valleys. And the aisles in a store, especially those big, tall aisles, are kind of like those valleys. And when the sun rises and the wind starts blowing, the pollution disperses up and out of those valleys and it wafts away. And the same reason, if the more fresh air going into a store, the higher the ventilation rate, the more that those breaths and coughs and what comes out of it that is trapped within the aisles of a store is going to get stirred up and maybe moved up towards the rafters up above the space where people are going to be able to breathe it and become more dispersed.
And here's another way to think of it.
Cigarette smoke is an aerosol. If someone was smoking, if you're close enough and positioned such upwind or downwind where you would be smelling the smoke from their cigarette, well, you'd probably also be inhaling any virus-bearing particles that they were breathing out too.
Which means?
I think it's best to, protect yourself and, wear a mask.
Wear a mask when you go out in public. That's now the rule in El Paso County and Fort Bliss. It's optional but recommended in New Mexico.